Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you are new to me and this is the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's what's going to be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, I have a tag video. I was not tagged in this, but I saw Under Victoria's Spell do it on her channel, and I will link it down in the down box below. And I thought it sounded like a lot of fun. It's 20 questions about books. Yeah, that sounds like a fucking blast. So without further ado, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get answering these 20 questions. Okay. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to ask myself one of these questions and I'm going to answer it, and I will have all the questions linked in the down box below. So if you'd like to take part in this, you have access to all the questions. So the first question is, how many books are too many books in a series? Wow. Okay, so how many books are too many books in a series? It really, for me, depends on what kind of series it is. If it is a series where every single book is a different couple, but they're all kind of interlinked and in the same world, I think it could go on for as long as the author needs to, or for as long as I'm happy to be in that world, for as long as the author makes that world interesting for me. So for series like that, I don't really think there's a good number. I really don't, for sure. I couldn't tell you. Now, if you're following the same like couple, in specific regards to romance books, I kind of feel if trilogies are okay, but I feel sometimes trilogies lack certain things. So quartets are really nice, and maybe even a little bit higher than that. So 4 to maybe 8 books, depending on the couple that you're following and how many outside characters are incorporated and how much we're getting into them. I really enjoy that kind of length. So 4 to 8 books for the same couple series. Now, however, there are series out there that I did read. Laurel K. Hamilton's Anita Blake Vampire Slayer series, or Vampire Hunter series. I loved that series, but it is massive. I think there's like 24, maybe 25 books out now. I don't even know. I stopped at like, I think 15, because it got to be too much. It was the same characters. Now, she had the same main characters, but every single book added a new person, and it started to get too many. It just started to go crazy. It started to go nuts, and I just was not having it anymore. I was just like, it's time for me to leave. It's time for me to go find somebody else. Still love the series, still recommend the series up to where I stopped reading. It just got to be, I wanted to meet some new characters for that. So in that instance, she made every single book special and unique for the scenario, and we got to meet new people, so it kept it interesting. It kept it fresh, but I was still seeing the same core people, and eventually I got tired of them. So that was too long for me, even though I still kept going because I was still interested in meeting the new characters and how they linked up with this like world of Anita Blake. So too many books, it really depends on the series. It really does. Now, high fantasy series, depending on how intricate that world is, you could go, there you go. Or you can, if you're talented enough, you can bam that out in like 4 books. Yeah, do it. So it's really all up to the world that's created. But personally for me, I like a good 4 to 8. If it's the same people, if it's different couples in the same world, then I can go a little bit further. Question number 2, how do you feel about cliffhangers? I fucking love them. If you're a series reader, cliffhangers are necessary. They are a necessary evil. Do they piss you off? Do they suck? They suck in a good way though, because it's what hooks you. What keeps you in that series. There are so many times I'll read a first book in a series that the first book always seems to be, is it going to be a series? Is it not? Because the author's really not for sure until the series gets picked up. And then I've read books where the author knows off the top, I'm making this a fucking series, and she or he gives me a clear fucking cliffhanger at the end of that book, and I'm like, I fucking love you. I love you. There's no fence sitting for you. You are I'm making another book. Even if this doesn't work, I'm making another fucking book. Let's do this. I love cliffhangers like that. What I don't like is cliffhangers that can go either way. Because they're not strong enough. They're not strong enough to keep me hooked, and they're not strong enough to give me a resolution at the end. So if you're gonna give me a cliffhanger, give me a fucking cliffhanger. End that shit. Leave unanswered questions that make me want to come back for more, that aren't incessant unanswered questions. And if you're not going to give me another book, don't give me a fucking cliffhanger that's going to make me sit here for 10, 15 years and be like, so about that one guy that died, are we ever going to justify his death? No? Okay, cool. Let's move on to different things. It's fine. Great. No, I like cliffhangers as long as they're necessary and the author finishes the fucking series. Thumbs up for cliffhangers as long as they're done well. So question number 3, hardbacks or paperbacks? Okay, so this is a very touchy subject for me. I love the aesthetic of a hardback. I love the aesthetic. I love the way it looks on shelves. I love its durability. I love the feel of it. I love the weight of it. I love just all the stuff about it. What I don't love about it is the price tag. So I usually will choose paperbacks for price points. But if I'm going to choose a paperback, what I prefer are these nice big floppy ones. I like this because it's still on the shelf, although I know it's paperback, gives me the aesthetic of a nice hardback shelf, okay? I kind of like my aesthetics here, if you haven't noticed my shelves here. Now, you haven't seen the rest of my bookshelves, and I don't know if you guys ever will. I'm kind of still in between things, but I love the aesthetic of the hardback on the shelf, and these big floppy paperbacks, they give me that same aesthetic, but they're a lot nicer on my wallet. So, hardbacks for their durability, for their presentability, for the way they look, for the way they feel. Paperbacks for their price point and for their ease of travel, for their ease of packing. They are considered to be lighter than hardbacks. So, I can go either way. It just depends on what I'm feeling for that book. And some books I don't want to drop the money on because I know I'm probably never going to look at it again, probably never going to pick it up again. But there are some books out there that I'm just like, yeah, I want a hardback of that one. Yeah, I want it nicely displayed. Nobody to fucking touch it because it's mine. Thanks. So I can go either way on hardbacks or paperbacks. I really don't have a preference except when it comes to my wallet. And then it's paperbacks. All right, number 4, favorite book. Wow. All right. Well, if you've been following me for any point in time, my favorite book of all time is Diana Gabaldon's Outlander. This is my favorite book. If any of you have been following me, you know this. This is the first installment to the Outlander series, and this is literally a defining book for me. There is a before Outlander Jackie, and there is an after Outlander Jackie. And I just fucking love this book. It is historical fiction. It is romance. It has grit. It has realness. It has one of the best fucking heroes out there because he's just fucking the king of men. End of story. And I love it. I love this, love this, love this. I can never recommend this enough. Is this an undertaking of a series? Yes. Yes, it is. Does this have extremely dark triggers in it, including non-con? Yes. Yes, it does. Does it have body horror? Yes. Yes, it does. Does it have time travel? Yes. Yes, it does. Does it have medical terminology? Yes, it does. Does it have historical accuracies and inaccuracies? Yes. Yes, it does. But I think this book is fucking stunning and it is perfect. And I will praise this book until the day I die. Because it's perfect. Thank you. And it's going to sit here now for the rest of the video. Question number 5, least favorite book. Okay. So this is actually a lot harder to answer than my favorite book because to say that I hate a book means that I have tried it multiple times and I have never liked it. I've tried it multiple times in my life and I've never liked it. There's only one book that I've reread multiple times that every single time I still don't like. And that is John Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men. I have been assigned to read this book 4 times in my life, throughout my lifetime. 8th grade, sophomore year in high school, freshman year in college, and senior year in college. I've been assigned 4 fucking times to read this damn book, and every single time, I have never liked it. I have never liked it. Now, I have been assigned this book. I have never freely, of my own free volition, picked this book up. So, the criteria that I read assigned books under when I was in college is a different criteria than I read books now. So maybe one day I will pick this book up and read it for my own free reading and my own free enjoyment, and maybe my opinion will change. But currently, as it stands, if I had to say I have a least favorite book of all time, it is this one, because it's the one I have reread the most, and every single time, I still don't like it. Sorry. I know this is a beloved one for a lot of people. I really liked the movie, though. I liked the movie more than the book. Yeah. Yep. All right. Question number 6. Love triangles, yes or no? Surprisingly, yes. I still like love triangles. I still like them. If they are done well, I appreciate them. Because here's why. I think that shit's adorable. 2 guys wanting the same girl and they're fighting over her. Come on. What teenage girl didn't want that at one point in time in her life? I know I sure as shit did. And to see it in books, I've seen it done really, really well in books. I've also seen it done really, really bad in books. And love triangles, they're not ruined for me, because here's why. I did not read Twilight when it came out. I read the first book when it came out, but I didn't read the rest of the series. So when all those other books were coming out about love triangles, I just didn't read them. If they sounded anything like Twilight, I didn't read it. I stayed away. But that Laurel K. Hamilton series I mentioned earlier, there's a love triangle, and that shit was dope. Want to know why? Get to book 6, and you will find the fuck out. Totally worth it. Just saying. Book 6, guys. Yeah, that's how you do a fucking love triangle. So that was my experience with love triangle. So I've seen it done really, really well. And that's what I grew up reading, was a really well done one. So I'm not scarred for them. I'm not ruined for them. I still think their concept is kind of cool. But the thing I don't like about love triangles is that I inadvertently will always pick the wrong dude. Always. I have never picked the right guy. In any love triangle I've ever read, never picked the right fucking one. I never do. It's like, God damn it, I suck at that. I suck at it. Knowing how bad I am at it, you'd think, be like, okay, this is the guy that I want, so it means it's gonna go with this guy. Nope. I still hold out faith. I was Team Jacob. I'm still Team fucking Jacob. Still, to this fucking day, I was Team K-All. Still Team K-All, thank you. I like where he ended. I'm very happy where he ended. I'm very happy where they all ended. But I was Team K-All because I knew he was there. I knew he was there, okay? I knew it. The Laurel K. Hamilton series, I was Team Richard for a long time. And then book 6 happened, and I'm like, well, I picked the wrong guy, but Jean-Claude's just as nice. But there's a lot more people involved in that, so. But if it starts out as a triangle and it becomes like a pentagram for a while, and then, you know, all those other sided grams. Just read that series. It's really fucking good. All right. Question 7. What is the most recent book you just couldn't finish? All right. We're gonna put this guy down because, yeah. Okay. So the most recent book I couldn't finish was this bad boy, Lords of Wrath by Angel Lawson and Samantha Rue. This is the second installment to the Royals of Forsyth University. This is a Why Choose bully romance, and I got 55% of the way through on the audiobook of book 2 of this series. And in book 1, I barely finished book 1, but I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna try 55% of the way through and there's no redeeming characteristics in any of the guys, and story is still a fucking moron. Yep. However, sex scenes, fucking dope. Great smut in these. In the 1.5 of the series I read, great smut. But there were certain elements in the story, and it's not the triggers. It was not the triggers that got me. I didn't give a shit about the triggers. What I gave a shit about is that this book was written in a voice that I was supposed to feel sorry for the heroine who physically put herself in the situation by signing a fucking contract that these fucking dudes could do whatever the hell they wanted to her, and she couldn't say shit. And the only thing in book 1 that she did to add the contract is they can't bang anybody else. So you literally made you their only outlet for their sexual frustrations and their fucking egos, and they make your life a living hell, and I'm supposed to fucking feel sorry for you. Don't fucking think so. I don't. But I will give you that the sex scenes are fucking dope in these books. Fucking dope. A lot of dark triggers. Very dark. There is a lot of dubious consent. There's somnophilia in there. There's exhibitionism in there. There is group sex in there. There is verbal assault. There is attempted sexual assault. There's dog trackers being implemented in people's bodies. That's where I got to. I ended up learning from a friend how the story actually ends. I'm okay. But if you really want some really good smut, this is a good series for smut. Just the storyline, couldn't deal with the heroine. Couldn't deal with her. So this is the most recent book that I could not finish. And my first DNF for 2023. Yeah. Which sucks because these covers are dope. I hate that. I hate it when a book has a fucking kick-ass cover and it just doesn't live up to the cover. I feel cheated. All right. Question number 8. What book are you currently reading? I am currently in the process of reading 3 books. I am reading Gideon by Jacqueline Frank, and it looks like this. And I am currently listening to the audiobook from Emma Chase, Getting Played. It looks like this. This is the second installment to the Getting Some series. And Gideon is the second installment to the Nightwalker series. And my third book is actually for my secret vlog for Q1 on my channel, where I read 1 book each month of the first quarter that is themed around a specific theme that I have designed. And then I'm going to release a video about it. So I cannot actually tell you what the third book is because it will give it away. So, but that one will be revealed. But I am reading 3 books at this current moment. So, yeah, that's what I got. And Gideon is on Kindle, by the way. So I'm reading a physical book, a Kindle book, and an audiobook, which is pretty standard for me. Let's see. What is number 9? What is the last book you recommended to someone? Well, if you're not including the books I recommend on my YouTube channel, so that's what I'm going to go with, is this is a book that I physically in person recommended to somebody. That was actually yesterday when I went to the bank. Some of my girlfriends that work at the bank, they were talking to me while we were doing their banking, and she had just finished her book, and she was wanting a recommendation to kind of come off those triggers, but she needed something HEA. So I recommended Lifeblood by Amara Ray. The first installment to the Immortal Coven series. This was a 5-star read for me, and it's fucking dope. It's awesome. There's super good steam. And we have a fated mate trope, but the book does not rely on the fated mate trope. The relationship in this book is actually formed and built, and you see the building of it. You see the trust built. You see them genuinely fall for each other, despite the fact that they find out that they're fated mates. That's just what kind of puts them really together in a closer proximity. But she is a witch, and he is a warlock, and he's an executioner by trade and a sadist by choice, and she falls into his clutches, and he needs to gather information about her coven to help destroy their coven, because warlocks and witches, they fight each other, and they find out that they are fated mates when blood gets transferred, and it starts off a whirlwind of a fucking hot story that I finished in a day and a half because I couldn't put it down, and I only put it down because I was on a car trip and I had to, or I would not have, because this book was stunning. And I bought the rest of the series literally the next day after I finished it. Went to my Amazon cart, put them all in there, click, buy, thank you, at my house in 2 days. Love you, Prime. Thank you. Yes, this is the last book I recommended because this book is fantastic. It is absolutely phenomenal. A lot of heavy triggers in it, a lot of dark triggers. Check your trigger warning list. But fucking phenomenal. Mwah, chef's kiss. Question number 10. What is the oldest book you've ever read? It'd have to be a classic, so I'm gonna go with The Odyssey. I'm gonna go with that. Or the Iliad. I don't know which one was written first. Off the top of my head, I don't remember which one was written first. But those are probably the oldest ones that I've read. And I read those in my Greek history class when I was in college. So, great fucking stories. Let's see. What is the newest book you have read? Well, I'm gonna have to say The Shadow of Theron by Catherine Troy, because I think it just actually released February 28th. And I don't think I've read any book since then that has released after that. I'm almost positive about that. So I'm going to say Catherine Troy's Shadow of Theron, and I've done a full book review on this book. I'll link it here for you guys. It's fucking fantastic. It is a Zorro retelling with fucking magic. Zorro with magic. Seriously? That's fucking dope, okay? It's awesome, and I love this. I love this concept. I think it's fantastic. And I did a whole book review on it. Go check it out. I actually was requested to review this book by the author herself. She sought me out, and it is phenomenal. And it's the start to, I would believe, is it going to be a trilogy. And I cannot wait for book 2. Cannot fucking wait for it. This thing is going to be awesome. And the cliffhanger in this one was fucking brilliant because I knew it was coming. It's where the cliffhanger got placed was the unique part about it because I did not see that location coming. So, I like unique placements of things. Let's see. Favorite author. Question 12. So, if you would have asked me this question last year, I would have said Diana Gabaldon because she wrote my favorite book. Now, after participating in the SJM read-along that is hosted by Jen of the Book Refuge, this was a read-along starting in April of 2022 where we read all of Sarah J. Maas's published works in publication order to find ties and connections. If you would have asked me this prior to that readathon, Diana Gabaldon would have won. Hands down, would have won. Not anymore. Sarah J. Maas with ACOWAR solidified herself as one of my favorite authors. Yeah. Court of Mist and Fury put her in the category. ACOWAR fucking solidified it. Yep. That series was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. I have a whole vlog series. I'll link my vlog playlist up here where I video log reading Akamath and ACOWAR and then some of the Throne of Glass series. So yeah, and you can see, I'm a very emotive reader. So you can see all of my emotions and all my reactions, and you can literally see at the end of ACOWAR that I am completely numb and I've been crying, and it just, I still can't say goodbye to those characters. Still, to this day. So, yeah. Sarah J. Maas. All right. Question 13. Buying books or borrowing? I tend to just buy books because I like to buy books. It's kind of a hobby of mine. I just like to buy books. I don't tend to borrow books from the library very often. The town that I live in doesn't have its own library, so I have to go out of the town to go to the library, and then therefore my library card is not free. I have to pay for it, which I do have one and I do pay for it, but I very rarely use it. I mostly just have it to support public libraries. But I'm really bad about returning books, so I always get fines. Yeah, it's like the one thing I'm really bad about returning is books and movies that people lend me. So I just don't borrow books from people, and I don't really borrow movies from people because I know I'm horrible about returning them. So I just tend to buy books, but I did purchase a subscription to Kindle Unlimited, so I do get a lot of books from that, and I will get those. If I don't really feel like buying it, or it's something I want to try out, I'm not 100% sure about it, or it hasn't been vetted out enough for me. So for me, it's buying. I just rather buy the book because I want to support the author and I want them to know that their book matters. And if I buy the book and I end up not liking it, I usually donate it to a library or to a school. I don't just donate it to Goodwill. I donate it to a library or school that could possibly get some use from it. Let's see. Question number 14. What is a book that you hate that everyone seems to love? I don't know. I know a genre, like a trope of books that so far I've not seemed to really like click with, but everybody else really seems to enjoy them. And that is Why Choose a Reverse Harem. I have read one reverse harem series in full and then 1.5. And both series, since being back on YouTube, I'm just going with what I've been back on YouTube, because I read some reverse harems before, but they were a long time ago. So I really don't exactly 100% remember them, but I want to like reverse harems because I love the idea of them, but every single time I read one, it's not that I disagree with what's going on, because who fucking cares? It's 4 dudes want to bang you, go for it, rock that shit. I just find that the heroines are never really worthy of that, in my opinion. They're never written to where I feel like they're deserving, and maybe it's just because I'm a jealous bitch because she gets it and I don't. I don't know. It could be that. It could be just I'm fucking jealous. Probably. But it seems to be a trope that I want to love, but I can't seem to get behind. But I do have some reverse harems and Why Chooses on my shelf that have been highly talked about, highly built up, and a lot of people that I do trust really, really enjoy them. So I'm not completely like sidestepping it. So I would say I don't have a specific book, but I have a specific set of books, trope of book that I just doesn't seem to click with me yet. But I think it's because I haven't found the book yet. I haven't found the one that's like, yeah, there it is. Yeah, this is my trope now. Thank you. Because right now I just feel like a jealous bitch because I don't like them. I never seem to like the heroine. I love the guys. I end up loving the guys, but I don't like the heroines. Maybe it is jealousy. I don't know. Let's see. Question number 15. Bookmarks or dog ears? I am a bookmark person. I don't like bending the pages in my books, and it really irritates me when I can't find something loose. Like, I will just grab whatever. I'll put a pen in there first before I actually like bend the corners of my books. It's just something that bothers me. It doesn't irritate me when other people do it to their own books because that's their book. But it irritates me when they do it to my books. So if I actually lend you a book and you dog your corner, I'm going to get in your face and be like, you're replacing my fucking book. Yeah, you're replacing it. I'm not kidding. I'm not. Don't do it. It drives me insane. But I don't care if you do it to your books. Just don't do it to my books, because I don't do it to my books. And when it accidentally happens, like I put a book in a purse and like a corner of a page will get dented or something, I'm not happy. Because then I have no one to blame but myself. So that's kind of annoying. Question 16. What is a book you can always reread? I have 3. Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, which I have reread. Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. I've reread it multiple times as well. And I can reread, I have not reread it yet, but I feel like I could reread Akamath, A Court of Mist and Fury, the second installment to the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. I feel like that's a book that I could reread over and over and over again. But I haven't, because I'm still not healed. So I don't want to tempt fate. But I feel like that's a book I could. Let's see. Question number 17. Can you read while listening to music? When I was in college, I could. I would listen to classical music. I would listen to Wagner, Bach, Chopin. I would listen to them while I studied, and I could do that. Free reading, it's not easy, but I can do it. There'll be times where my husband will be driving and he'll be listening to music and I will be reading on my Kindle or my book, and I can zone in on that. But the minute a song comes on that I actually really like, it will, whatever it is, it'll take me right out of that book. And I'll start, yeah, I'm going to bebop to this. Or I'm going to jam out to it, do my little headbanging, whatever. So I can, depending on what the music is and what I'm reading the book for. Like study-wise, education-wise, academic-wise, yes. Free reading, normally, no, I can't. Unless it is music that I just don't give a shit about and I just don't care. And it's until a song that I do care about or I really like comes on the radio and I'm like, and book goes down now. Because now I'm jamming out to this bad boy. And then I go right back to it. Question 18. One point of view or multiple? So, I used to be a one POV kind of girl. Like, I didn't like the jumping back and forth because it confused me at times. And now that I've gotten really, really into romance, I fucking love the multiple POVs. Love them, love them, love them. Want to know why? Because I'm not a dude. And I like to know what the guys are thinking during all this shit, and it's fucking phenomenal. I usually like the male perspective more than I like the female perspective in books. 9 times out of 10, I will prefer the male portion of the book over the female portion. And I just think that's fucking hilarious. And I think it's mostly because I just don't know how the other half thinks. Because I'm not a dude. And granted, these dudes are being written by women, but still, it's like, this is still something that I'm getting from something on the other side, and I think it's great. So I am now, like, loving multiple POVs. I love multiple POVs. Now, the first time I read a book that had multiple point of views was Colleen McCullough's The Thornbirds when I was in the 8th grade, and I really enjoyed it then because I liked the multiple storylines about the same thing that was going down. I enjoyed that a lot. But it wasn't until I came on YouTube and I started reading all the romance books with those multiple POVs that I started remembering how much I enjoyed this. I saw them in fantasies, and it's very common in fantasies, but fantasies, I always have to kind of remember who the characters are because there's a lot more characters. We're dealing with like 6, 7, 8, 10 characters. In romance books, I'm usually dealing with 2, maybe 3, so I can handle that a lot better. Fantasy books, I still love the multiple POVs, but it's a little bit more difficult for me, for sure. And now when I read a book that has a single point of view, I'm kind of like, well, why does he think that? How does he think that? Or like an omniscient point of view where we know everything from everybody. It almost feels not as authentic sometimes. And those books, I really enjoy when the author writes in more of a dialogue-driven plot versus an action-driven plot, because then I'm still getting dialogue from the characters, and that's how the plot is progressing. So now an omniscient point of views where it's like the overseer is talking about everybody, and you only have that one point of view, but they see everything. I like to see everything through the dialogue of the characters rather than, infinity. So, yeah. 19, do you read books in one sitting or multiple days? It depends on the book. If it's a challenge to read in one sitting, I will do my best to read in one sitting. Most time I spend multiple days on books, about 1 to 2 days per book, depending on the length of it. Other books have taken me longer, and sometimes it just takes me a long time because I'm either A, not feeling a book, or I get really tired and I fall asleep. It doesn't mean the book's bad, it's just I'm tired. I wake up at 5 a.m. every single day, and I'm not as young as I used to be. I used to be able to go on very little sleep, like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And I've recently noticed in the last couple of months that that's not been the case. I need to get more sleep because I've been more tired during the week. So I just have to readjust my reading and everything like that. But most of the time it takes me 1 to 2 days to finish a 400 to 500 page book. Sometimes I can finish one in one sitting. If I start it early enough in the day and read it all day, I have done that, and it's it's plausible. It also depends on how great the fucking book is. If the book sucks, it's gonna take me a long goddamn time to get through. If the book is amazing and I can't put it down, and I don't want to put it down, and I forget that I have to eat, and I forget that I have to go to the bathroom, and I forget everything else about my, health, and then when the book sits down, I'm like, holy crap, I gotta pee, and I run, and I realize I just read this whole book in a fucking day, and I haven't gone to the bathroom, and I haven't eaten anything, and I haven't drank anything. What the fuck's wrong with my life? Oh, that's right. That was a great fucking book. That's what's wrong with my life. I just had the greatest adventure ever. So, it depends on the book. Let's see. And number 20, who do you tag? I'm tagging anybody who wants to do this. So if you want to do this, let me know. Tag me in it that you got it from me, and just let me know so I can watch your answers and your responses, because this was a lot of fun. A lot of the questions, I've noticed with a lot of these question book tags that each question is, if there's an either or, it really depends on the situation. You do have one that you tend to go to, but it really depends on the situation. But it's really fun to find out the idiosyncrasies and the little things that people do differently about books, like with the dog ear and the bookmarks, like who's really annoyed by that and who's not. I always find that stuff really, really interesting. So if you do this tag and you saw it from this video, let me know. And again, I will link under Victoria's Spell in the down box below, because she's the one who I saw do this video. I really enjoy her channel. I love her accent. It's so fun to listen to. She's got that sweet, buttery Southern accent. I was like, girl, I love you. I love your voice. It's fantastic. So, but that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this, and all the questions will be in the down box below. So if you like to do this, you can just copy and paste them. All right, I'll see you guys soon.